If you had to teach one habit, a system or mindset that really changed your sport or in your life, what would it be and how can a young athlete really apply that
Yeah, I think,
in terms of like mindset or a
right.
habit, a system or a mindset?
Yeah, I've always been told next play mentality. And what that means is
Mm.
in volleyball, if you hit the ball out, yeah, your percentage goes down, your team's mad, but you're in there, you're starting, you're playing, you're there for a reason. Just go on to the next play. You have to have a fast memory, as Cena always told me, because if you're constantly thinking about the last play, it's going to affect the plays after you. And that goes for anything. If you think about you failed the last test and, oh, I'm going to fail this test, you're going to fail the test, you know. But if you have that next play mentality and you keep thinking, well, if you have confidence in yourself, chances are you're going to do better than the time you failed.
Time out, time out. Let me ask you this. What if the gap between where you are today and where you want to be isn't talent? It's how you're training when no one's watching. That's what this studio podcast is all about. We don't chase motivation. We don't hype potential. We build identity through habits, standards, and systems. This is where student athletes, parents, coaches, and leaders to sharpen how they think, prepare, and perform. I'm Coach Randy, and this is the Built Different Studio Podcast. What's up, family? This is Coach Randy here. Welcome to the Built Different Studio Podcast, where we don't just talk about success, we train it. Mindset, systems, habits. This is where champions in sports, school, and life are made. Let's lock in and let's build. Today's guest on the show is Blake. I actually coached him when he was 13, 14 years old back in the day. And we have a wonderful story. So let me introduce Blake. Blake, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. Fun to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on the show, Blake. And before we dive in, I want to start with you. Not your resume, not the highlight reel, not what we did at basketball, but you. So for everyone listening, tell us who you are, your story, your roots, the moments that kind of built you. And because every champion has a beginning, and I want to hear yours. Share that with our audience.
Yeah, so hey, my name's Blake. I'm the youngest of three. I'm 20 years old. My brother's 29. My sister's 27. My sister was also a Division I athlete. He played soccer for a couple of years. Got full
Oh, I
rides.
didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, full rides to a bunch of places like the Naval Academy. She was going to go into the Naval Academy, but decided not to. So she played her 4 years of D1 soccer. Now she's a sheriff. My brother owns a psychology practice. And I'm still,
Nice.
yeah,
Big on mental mindset. You know that.
yeah. And yeah, so I grew up basically a single child for a couple of years because of the age gap. But I always modeled my
Okay.
life for them. I played baseball for forever before you coached me in basketball. And I thought my life was going to be about baseball, but I fell out of love with the game early on. And
Okay. Are you a big Dodgers fan, of course?
oh, no. Uh,
I know.
and
I
then
see that. I see the hat there.
parents are from New
That's
York.
why I
So
asked.
yeah, I was assimilated into it when my parents moved over. So, and then you coached me for basketball for a couple months, and I was like, you know what, I'm tall, but I'm not very good. I still have the same arm swing from baseball, so why not try volleyball? And I quickly
Okay.
excelled. I made varsity my freshman year, and then COVID
Wow.
happened.
Where'd you go to high
Yeah,
school again, Blake? Remind me, was it Chatsworth?
I went to Chatsworth my final 2 years, but I started out at Cleveland.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then when COVID happened, I had to sit out the whole season because of transferring policies with LUSD.
Okay. You played under Coach Cena, right?
Yeah, Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Got it.
yeah, and then I switched over my junior year. I was named an AVCA high riser those first 3 years, which is the American Volleyball Coaches Association, and they take a look at basically the prospects of who's going to be good in the next couple of years across the country. So I made
Wow.
those
Okay. So they're doing some projections on you already.
yeah. And then by my end of junior year, I was first team league, first team city. Um, and then my senior year, I was a preseason All-American. I ended up being LA County, LA City League Player of the Year. I was nominated for USA Today Player of the Year across the nation. And
Wow,
yeah,
wow. Those are
it ended
big
off
time
pretty good.
accomplishments.
Yeah. Um, and I wasn't really too keen on playing uh, upper level sports. I was focusing on academics. I was valedictorian. I got into UCLA. Um, I just wanted to go based off academics, and I took
Wow,
a t-
wow. I didn't know you got into USL. Did you go there for a few semesters? Or you just got
oh,
accepted?
I went straight to volleyball, George Mason. Yeah,
Okay, okay. So you
yeah,
played volleyball at George Mason. That's D1 level, right?
yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's amazing. So for those of you that don't know, it's I think it's about 5%, 5.5% of student athletes that go on to play volleyball at the D1 level. So I mean, in terms of, the built different phrase, you are definitely built different. So and then what did you major in there, Blake, after you started at George Mason?
Yeah, so my major was statistics with a concentration in sports analytics. So I was taking all the statistic classes, but I was also taking sports management and sports management coding classes on the side to potentially go into the sports field of data analytics. And then when I
Okay, okay.
transferred back here, when I finished playing, I switched into math as a general major, and I was like, that's not really for me. It's all handwritten stuff. I want to go back into coding. So that's what made my
Okay,
decision.
okay.
I'm transferring again, and I'll be back into coding and
So
applied
you know
science.
how to code in terms of like software development code, or is it like data analytics code?
Like data analytics, like using programs like R, SAS, MATLAB, not like Python and that fun stuff. I can't do that.
Okay, okay. No, that's still some strong stuff,
Yeah.
high level stuff as well. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So then now you where you are at today, you mentioned you're looking to go to Indiana.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, and then and you're moving out there next semester.
No, so I'll be doing strictly online. So I already got the coursework. I'll be graduating on time, and I'll be taking all the hard stat classes, and I'll still be able to work full time out here and carry on about my life as it is.
Okay, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
good, good. Yeah, no, and even if you're looking for like internship opportunities, there's some projects that you and I can collaborate on in terms of data analytics, data modeling, maybe some AI stuff, artificial intelligence, machine learning, just to again kind of build out your resume there. Now, thanks for sharing that. I want to shift gears a little bit and kind of ask you the next question in terms of what's that one moment in your journey that really shaped who you are today? You made some references to your brother and sister, but I want to understand what made you realize you're building something bigger than just wins or grades.
Right. I think getting my first offer when I was applying for
Yeah,
schools and
yeah.
getting my first offer, I was like, wow, okay. It was a Division 3 offer, so it was like, it's still college volleyball, but it's not
Oh
where I
yeah,
want
for sure. Division 3 stuff big time. Who did that
to.
offer
Yeah.
come from?
It was oh my God, I don't even remember. I like you send out those
Okay,
mass
that'd be
emails
great.
and then
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you send out the mass emails and then the coaches respond. And I was like, all
Okay,
right.
okay. Actually, let me touch on that real quick, Blake. So did in terms of recruiting, there's a lot of student athletes that don't know the recruiting process. Is that what you did? You sent out a bunch of emails and then you got some responses back to you?
Yeah, so I worked with Cena and for my junior year highlights and my senior year highlights of club, because high school, at least in
Okay.
volleyball, doesn't high school doesn't really matter. So you wanted the club highlights. Um, and you
Yeah, yeah.
create like a 2 or 3 minute film of all the different characteristics of volleyball. So passing, blocking, hitting, and you send it out to coaches, your height, your GPA, your weight, what you're looking for.
Okay, okay.
I like this about this program. And then you send out those emails to everybody.
Ah, okay, okay. Now that's good to know because I also have a platform where I have access to literally all the D1, D2, D3, even junior college coaches.
Mhm.
And what I use the platform for is I get the videos that, like you said, videos of the players. I send it out to specific coaches, and then the platform will know if they opened up that email. So if they did open up that email, then we could follow up and say, "Hey, Coach XYZ, I see you opened up my video highlights. I'm interested in your program," and then at least start that discussion, because it is hard getting recruited. It is hard getting that visibility. And
Yeah.
I think that's a great approach that you shared with us. Next question I have with you, in terms of every champion hits a wall, right? In terms of, what was that moment in your life or your volleyball career where you felt stuck, right? And what choice helped you break through?
Right. So I think it was my freshman year of college. I came in, I was thinking, all right, I was recruited to D1. I'm a D1 athlete. I'm going to be good. I have the skill
Yeah.
set,
Okay. Okay.
at any level of college, actually. If you're recruited and you're on the team, you deserve to be there. And I didn't really understand that.
Yeah,
I
for
got
sure.
in. I got in. I'm
Okay.
6'4",
Okay.
6'5" on a good day, but I was undersized for my position.
Okay. Okay.
I had a great
Yeah.
vertical, but my mental mindset wasn't all there. So I get there, first couple weeks go by, I have the jitters, and I'm thinking, all right, I got to get out of this. And then the whole year goes by. I redshirt. I'm not doing good in practice. My stats aren't doing good. I was like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, I don't have any confidence anymore. I'm not doing so hot.
Mm.
And I met with the sports psychologist. He's like, look, it's a game of failure, just like baseball. If you bat 300 in baseball, you're still failing 7 times out of 10. It's a game of
Wow,
failure.
that's a great analogy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's a game of failure. And in volleyball, if you're hitting 300 as an outside hitter, which was my position, you're doing fantastic. And I didn't understand that.
Ah.
I wanted to be
Okay.
perfect in every
Okay.
move. Yeah. And I'm fighting for a spot. I'm fighting to stay on the team. And I had to buy into that mindset, because I was telling my teammates, like, I'm gonna quit. I can't do this. I can't do this. I suck. It's like, no,
Wow. Wow.
you're
Okay.
recruited for a reason. You have a scholarship for a reason. You're supposed to be here. And I think that summer I really keyed in on fixing my mindset towards my sophomore year. And I was like, I gotta kick it into gear, or else I'm gonna not be
Okay.
happy here
Okay.
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, thanks for sharing that. That's important. I mean, a lot of players don't really understand the value of mindset. So whether you're playing football, basketball, soccer, whatever sport you're playing, you're going to be doing the skills development, right? Players are also going to be doing the performance training, getting bigger, stronger, faster. But are they focusing on their mindset? Like you were talking about, it's so important to have that confidence, maintain that confidence, and make sure you know that you do belong, just like you said. So I want to drill down a little bit more on the mindset. If you had to teach one habit, a system, or mindset that really changed your sport or in your life, what would it be, and how can a young athlete really apply that
Yeah. I think,
in terms of like mindset? Or a
right.
habit, a system, or a mindset?
Yeah. I've always been told next play mentality. And what that means is,
Mm.
in volleyball, if you hit the ball out, yeah, your percentage goes down, your team's mad, but you're in there, you're starting, you're playing, you're there for a reason. Just go on to the next play. You have to have a fast memory, as Sina always told me, because if you're constantly thinking about the last play, it's going to affect the plays after you. And that goes for anything. If you think about, you failed the last test and, oh, I'm going to fail this test, you're going to fail the test. Um, but if you have that next play mentality and you keep thinking, well, if you have confidence in yourself, chances are you're going to do better than the time you failed.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. No, that's important. And you're right. In terms of next play mentality, as you know, basketball, I actually have a basketball game today. And I tell that to all the young players is, if you make a mistake, that's okay, because you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. I really emphasize the growth mindset, making mistakes and learning from that. It's very, very important. No, thanks for sharing that. Let me ask you, Break, a kind of similar question when I asked you about your brother and your sister, but who helped build you, in terms of like, what's the biggest lesson they taught you and that you still carry today?
Interesting. Interesting. Hmm. I think it's an accumulation of everyone who's helped me in my life, honestly. Like if you give
Yeah.
it your all,
Okay.
if you give it your all and everything, then you can't be unhappy with the results. Um, if you put 100% effort into everything you do, then you gave it all you could, and at the end of the day, the result was going to be its way anyways. So, I mean, if you give it your all,
Yeah. Yeah.
chances are the outcome's going to go your way.
Give it your all. I like that. I like that motto. Okay, cool, cool. Blake, I want to thank you for jumping on this show. My last question I have for you to close our studio podcast show is we have a bunch of student athletes that are looking to be, in your position, right? What is that one advice that you would give these students? And these students are kind of similar to your position. I mean, you're unique. I didn't know you had the valedictorian high academics, but what would you give these students in terms of advice from academics as well as athletics? So I kind of want to blend those together. What is, and you could answer two separate, comments or tips there, but I want to address the students that have an academic career as well as an athletic career. What would be your kind of tip for them?
Yeah, I think it goes for both realms, but do the extra rep or do the extra hour of study. And if you keep doing those your whole life, if you get the extra rep, if you go to the gym when nobody else does for an extra hour a day, if you put in an extra hour of study time a day, you're going to get better grades. You're going to be better at your sport, and you're going to have options. You're going to go to a great academic institution, or you're going to get a great offer from a great athletic school. But either way, if you put in that extra work, you're going to flourish in whatever you do.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's man, the knowledge, the tips, the gold mine tips that you've shared with us. I'm going to make t-shirts out of everyone you shared there. We're going to make t-shirts and we're going to put you on an NIL deal as well. So you just heard the journey of a kid that I met when he was 13 years old, a kid who showed up early, stayed late, and built himself brick by brick into a Division I athlete and an even better human being. I reconnected with Blake a few months ago. I'm glad I did. Blake is proof of something I want every athlete, every parent, every coach listening to hear. Greatness isn't some lightning strike. It's the small intentional choices you make when nobody sees you. He talked about the extra rep, right? I saw Blake, I watched him build that mindset. I watched him build that discipline when he was playing basketball for me. He carried that on forward. And today you got to hear the results. Blake, I'm so proud of you, man. Not because you went D1, but because you kept choosing the harder path, the higher standard, the better version of yourself, next play mentality, the importance of mindset. You shared that. I mean, you went D1 volleyball, huge. You're going to be going to Indiana, majoring in data statistics. You talked about doing the extra rep. And for everyone listening, let his story remind you, your habits are building your future right now. You're writing your next chapter with the decisions you make today. This is what Built Different is all about. Mindset, systems, habits, identity, building champions in sport, school, and life. So if Blake's story moved you, share this episode. Share this episode with someone who needs it, a teammate, a student, a parent, a coach, because one story can spark a breakthrough. I love everyone. I love you all. Keep showing up, keep building forward, and keep choosing to be built different. Until next time, go win the day. Thanks again, Blake. We'll chat soon.
So yeah.
Remember this, family. Talent might open the door, but your mindset, your habits, and your discipline decide how far you go. So keep showing up, keep building, and keep choosing the harder road, because that's the one that makes you built different. I'm Coach Randy, and this is the Built Different Studio Podcast.